Like, call the meeting to order. Roll call.
Councilman Samaluka. Councilwoman Dorminio.
Here.
Councilman Garrett.
Here.
Councilman Accomando.
Here.
Council President Mazur.
Here. Please rise for the salute to the flag. Pledge allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Adequate notice of this meeting has been sent to all council members and to all legal newspapers in accordance with the provisions of Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975.
The public is hereby advised that any statements made during a meeting of the Township Council of the Township of Saddlebrook may not be privileged or protected, and that persons or entities who take issue with such comments or are offended by same may and have in the past sought legal redress through the courts. Any member of the public who addresses the council speaks for themselves and not for the council.
Thank you. Mayor, I believe you have presentations.
Good evening, everyone. At this time, I'm going to call up Mr. Sal Nuccio and Mr. Frank Rassiopi. They have a presentation. Okay, and Mr. Russ Bargel will come up. Just Mr. Russ Bargel, President of the Kiwanis? Okay. Thank you. Yeah, come on this way.
Okay, we're here to present a plaque today to Officer Matt Bennis, and I'll read it to you just a short. In appreciation of your generosity and support of the annual fishing contests from the Saddlebrook Kiwanis Club. Not many people are aware, I think, but Matt has provided stocking of the ponds for all the fishing contests over the past 10 or so years. And we just want to say thank you, and without your help and your generosity, the contest wouldn't be as popular and as fun for the kids as it is. So thank you. And where is it?
Right there.
This is for you. Thank you. And a former student of mine, so that's proud.
Hey,
Thank you very much.
I appreciate your help.
Thank you.
Stay up, man. I have a proclamation for you.
Okay.
Now you guys stay up. I also have a proclamation for you, Matt. In appreciation and recognition of Matthew Bennis, whereas year after year, Matt has helped make the annual Kiwanis Fishing Contest a great success. And whereas his generosity has enhanced the Township of Saddlebrook by promoting the common good and nurturing the sense of community. And whereas Matt is an inspiration whose actions encourage others to become more involved in the community. And whereas Matt, donations to the Kiwanis Club gives families the opportunity to create fun memories and a tradition that will continue for years to come. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Robert D. White, the mayor of the Township of Saddlebrook, New Jersey, do hereby recognize and thank Matthew Bennis for his outstanding community service in the Township of Saddlebrook. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
Let's pose for a picture. Let him, you want us to move over here, maybe, you get all of us in? Okay, yeah, come on, let's move and.
Right, you can hold this one.
Okay.
Just hold it for me like that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Thank
Thank
you very
you.
much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Maddie, on behalf of the entire council, we'd like to congratulate you and thank you too for your generosity and the Kiwanis Club for bringing such a fun time to our community. Thank you.
Council President, I just have one more proclamation regarding Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I'd like to read, whereas October is National Breast Cancer Awareness Month and October 19th is National Mammography Day, and whereas for women in the United States, breast cancer death rates are higher than those for any other cancer besides lung cancer, and whereas mammography and X-ray of the breast can detect breast cancer up to 2 years before physical symptoms can be seen or felt, and whereas death rates from breast cancer have been declining, and these changes are thought to be the results of treatment advances, earlier detection through screening, and increased awareness. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Robert D. White, the mayor of the Township of Saddlebrook, New Jersey, do hereby proclaim the month of October as Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Encourage our residents to become educated and informed about programs and services that offer early detection, and to also celebrate the survivors and memorialize those who have lost their battle. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. That's it. At this time, I'd like to make a motion to open the meeting to the public.
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
The meeting is now open to the public. Anyone wishing to be heard, please come up, state your name and address.
Hi, I'm Tommy Hayes, live on Floral Lane in Saddlebrook. Happy to be a Saddlebrook resident. I'm here once again because I'm going to be doing a fundraiser with Drums from Heaven, which I've been working for 14 years, helping various people, many in this town. It turns out we've helped some students, people with disabilities, and some organizations. I don't want to start naming them and then forget anybody, but what we do is we ask people to come out to the VFW and support what we do. Some of you have come in the past, and what we are doing is raising money for food pantries this time around. We want to make sure people in need are going to have a good, happy Thanksgiving this year. So I've picked two organizations out of Saddlebrook and one national association. So we're going to be raising money for the Center for Food Action, and that's Saddlebrook based, and the Community Food Bank of Saddlebrook. That one I think runs out of the Reformed Church, and the other one is I think on Midland Ave, if I got my numbers right. So, and the national one is called Why Hunger. Many may have heard of that. That's been going since the 80s. So briefly, it's on October 26th. It's a Saturday night. It runs 5 hours long. It sounds long, but we have performances going to happen there. Professional belly dance performance. A professional African drum group will play music from some villages in West Africa. And myself will have some songs. It's a Halloween theme event. We will have food included. So I'm asking the residents if you can come on out and support this. As much money as we raise, we're going to be buying food gift certificates. And Sarah Supermarkets will be donating the food, and they have also agreed to give us extra money for the money that we raised towards the gift certificate. Is my time up? Because I'm almost done. So again, it's October 26th, 6:30, Saddlebrook VFW. If you can come out, that'd be great. If not, the event will be posted, and if you want to donate, just find a way of contacting me. I'm not hard to find.
Great.
Thank you for your time.
Tommy, thank you for your organizing this. It's such a great cause. Thank you.
Can we
yes.
make sure we post this on the
Yeah.
town website and everything?
It already has been. It's posted already.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Nathan Robert Bennis, and I'm blessed to have a father like Matthew. And I am thankful for the baseball program of Saddlebrook, and I am blessed to have skills like this.
Aw, thank you. Thank you for saying that. He's a tough act to follow now.
Larry Ratajczak, 92 Claremont. I know briefly we spoke Tuesday on a 3-minute rule. I mean, I think the council needs to address something. After last month, you gave the residents of the town 3 minutes. I know only one person talked, but it's really not a lot of time. I told you if we could devote like a half hour to it, have a sign-in sheet, have the minutes divided or whatever, but that's up for you people to decide and whatever. I don't want the answers now, Pete, on the tax appeals, how we're doing with the commercial tax appeals. You can answer that on your time. The other thing I asked for was a phone number that we can call our maintenance guy on the weekends and after hours, that we can have a contact, and that not have to go through the police station and bother the police. You know, I know he's working weekends or whatever, I see by the dates that he's working there, and we got to be able to get in touch with him. The other thing, the engineer's not here, the paving. I mean, you people got to just decide, you got to cut this contractor loose. It's a year now. He's never going to do Claremont. It's to the point now where it's cost him more to come in and fix his punch list than he has owed to him. So just, let's go whatever we have to do legally, get the roads fixed. I mean, it's a year now. We don't have any paving scheduled. I don't see anything in there, Fairlawn Parkway, for this year. That's all we have to do. And he has a mess still out here. This other guy has a mess on Hayes Drive. He can't even plant grass. You want him to fix the roads? I mean, we got to decide what we're doing. The other thing is the senior housing, what's the delays now? I mean, it's built, ribbon cutting and everything else. You can answer that later. And like I said, the empty businesses that are around town now, we're starting to see a lot of them pop up. They're empty. We need businesses in this town. We need ratables. And we need the ratables to take the pressure off the residents so we don't pay the taxes. Every time a business goes out, it goes to the residents, because the residents don't move out. Their houses stay full, we pay the taxes, and we keep going up. The Centennial Park, I asked about that. Do we have a set of plans for that, what that's going to look like, or do we have anything going with that? We do have a set of plans that you can show us, because I don't think we should do an as-built. Like, we build as we go along. I mean, if you look at that kid, what he did at Avon, he had a plan, and he stayed by it, he did it, he completed it, and it's beautiful. I don't think we have a plan. We just put a fence up one day, a flagpole another day, and I asked if we're going to have toys in there or you know, for the kids to play on, and you know, I didn't get a good answer.
Larry, please wrap it up.
Yep. That, and like I say, if we can just, I know we're going into the Home Depot tonight, but I'll talk about that later. But we got to set dates, times, and money. We got to stay within that budget, because I know the budget is overblown. And like I said, I wish that it would have went on a referendum, because watching November what happens to the Board of Ed's referendum. It's going to go down. People are tired. And if this was on a referendum, this would have been voted down. And it's up to you 5 people to make it work. And to me, that's a lot of money to be spending on one building and one project. And it's all coming on us out here. We're the ones that are going to pay for it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to part?
Hello, Lou Rodriguez, 7 Franklin Avenue. I just had a quick question regarding the Centennial Park, just because my house borders on that property. And I was just wondering if there was any plans. I remember last year when we at first come, they said that they would have something, just so we can just kind of see what's going on. Just because, again, I'm just interested on how my property would be affected. So I was just hoping I might be able to get some information.
Sure.
That's all.
Do you have any other concerns before we answer? I don't want to take up your
No,
time.
that was really
Okay.
it. I just wanted to
That's
make sure
fine. Okay.
if we could see something. That
Okay,
was
stay
it.
there, Mayor.
Yeah, we have a very elaborate plan, actually, that our town engineer drew up. And it's costly. It's a lot more than we have to spend. So we're basically using that plan
Okay.
for putting, like, the fence, the flagpole, we have a monument. We think we're gonna put up a gazebo, which was on the plan. There's also some area in the back where we may put some kind of playground equipment.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's really the answer. You know, we're moving along nicely now. And I would imagine that we will start in the spring doing the additional work.
Is there any possibility for any of the houses that border on that property to be able to see any of the information or
Yeah,
anything that's
yeah,
coming,
sure.
just because, you know, we can get an
Sure.
idea of what that looks like?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right.
Thank you.
My name is Sal Nuccio. I just want to ask you a question. I drive down Saddle River Road, and the Little League field and the park. Every so often, and I don't mean this every day, the gas smell there is terrible.
Yes,
You know, I just figure, look at that.
yes.
I see public service there, but they say they never find nothing.
That's
Good, Mr. Nuccio, go ahead. Pete?
It's right across the street
He
from
lives
me.
across
so
right the street.
It's a good thing I don't smoke in front of my house
Exactly.
with the gas. Fire department's been called out 18 times. The leak has been there for 2 years.
Oh, I didn't know, you know, I
PSC&G
just,
is, the latest email is they're doing the work on Jamrose Terrace, they're doing work on Saddle River Road. They hope to cut that line with that new line that they put in 2 weeks. But it's getting frustrating for the fire department, it's frustrating for the people that ride by because you smell it, either people pass on Jamrose, and every time they call the police, the fire department gets dispatched, that's protocol.
yeah, all right, thank you very much.
Yep.
But they're
No.
working on it,
Yes.
as they tell me.
Thank you.
Frank Resciopi, 1 Hour Avenue. I just got to ask a question. With this new building that's going up, that's supposedly going up on Mayo Street, what are you going to do with the monuments, like the police monument and the monuments that are by headquarters? Are they going to go up there also? Or, I don't know, you got the Centennial Park? You can make it a monument park or something? I don't know. Put the monuments there?
It's a good idea. But
You know, I'd like to know, you know,
the police.
because
will
I was
go.
involved with the police monument, and I'd
Yeah.
like to know what,
We believe the police is gonna go by the police station, in front of the police station.
what is.
That's what we're planning on doing.
Okay, thank you.
The other ones, maybe Veterans Field,
Thank you.
but that's a good idea, Frank.
Yeah, it is.
That's a good idea, what you said about
It's
tricentennial.
tricentennial, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone else wishing to be heard? No,
Sure.
at this time. Motion to close?
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okey-dokey. All righty. Comments? Mayor?
Okay, thank you, Council President. Some events and activities that we did in September, New Jersey Department, Treasury Department came to the Senior Center on Thursday, the 5th of September. They did a seminar for mostly seniors, but others as well, on the senior freeze and the homestead rebate, which was very helpful. There was a nice crowd there, and it was informing. We did the ribbon cutting to the senior housing on Monday the 9th. Larry had mentioned at the work session, I know a few people from Saddlebrook that are going next week. They're going to pick out the unit that they want, and they are going to start moving in shortly. That's the word that I have. We had a shredding event on Saturday the 14th at Coolidge School. It was well-attended. We had a lot of people that utilized that and were able to get rid of some of their unwanted documents. Flood Committee, we had a meeting on Monday the 23rd. Councilman Garrick will talk about that. On Tuesday the 24th at the Saddlebrook High School, we had voting for class officers and student council. They used the actual voting machines that the county allowed us to use. I want to thank Pete Ladico, Inez Radman, and Marie Kenny for all their help with that voting. On the 20th, Friday the 20th, I know I'm going out of order here a little bit, but we had the Saddlebrook Junior Football and Cheerleading Pep Rally at Veterans Field. We had a pizza party for the girls' 12 and under softball team. They won the county championship this year. That was on Thursday the 26th at the Senior Center in the evening. Lastly, from September on the 25th, it was was last Sunday, whatever date that was. We had Charlie Cerrone Jr.'s 25th anniversary of service with the fire department, a celebration dinner at the Fiesta. So I want to congratulate Charlie for that. While we're on that subject, October 6th through the 12th is Fire Prevention Week. So I urge and really ask all residents and businesses to be generous when the fire department comes around, door to door, for their annual calendar drive. Okay, ordinances. Tonight, we have on an ordinance authorizing the purchase of the property at 55 Mayo Street, which is the old Home Depot building. We also have a final reading on an ordinance to amend the town code regarding fees for water meters. Basically, we're eliminating billing homes more than once. So your house, once it gets sold, the person pays for the seller pays for the seller, right? The seller pays for the water meter, and then that's it. It's only one time. Because right now, we've been getting a lot of complaints that houses that sell over and over and over again, we keep collecting that same fee. And so that'll correct that. We also have a final reading on a bond ordinance to authorize improvements, paving of Fairlawn Parkway Phase 1 and Herbert Terrace the entire length. Resolutions that we have tonight, we have one to approve me to sign the purchase contract and the construction contract for 55 Mayo Street, which is the old Home Depot building and the proposed municipal complex. Also, we have one authorizing the submission of New Jersey Transit grant application for operating expenses for the town's senior citizen bus and bus driver. So we're putting in an application for a grant. We also have a certification of our annual audit. We have an approval of expenditures over $2,500. One of the things I wanted to mention is we are going to, we're going to purchase new recycling pails for all residents, the blue pails. We're using Clean Community Grant and recycling grant money. We have a declaration also on for declaring October as Italian American Month. Moving on, public service is nearing completion of their Phase 1 gas mains, which we just spoke about, at the north end of town. So Bell, Rugby, Nightingale, Colonial, Cambridge, Oxford, and maybe another one or two will be paved. Half of the paving will be done this winter, the other half in the spring. Public service uses Tilcon, which is a very, very good paving company, and I don't think we're going to have any problems with that. Also, just to mention about the gas main, there was a little laughing about, the gas. It's not a gas leak that's dangerous. It's an odor of gas. There's a difference. But we have to respond. If somebody calls and says they smell it, we have to go there. But public service has assured us that it's not dangerous. So that's why it hasn't been done. It's been like that for probably about 6 months.
2 years.
Okay, 2 years. So, but this work that they're doing over there, they're gonna tie that all in and they're gonna correct that, so. Property maintenance, continuing to improve the appearance of the town, especially commercial areas on Midland Avenue and Market Streets. Some of the things, cleaning up, painting. We got the post office to finally agree to do some work there and to paint the building. It's a shame that we have to, they're a federal building, but, he's, our property maintenance official has stayed on top of that. Also, he's looking into dumpsters, that they're fenced in, that they're covered, so he's been busy. Mayo Street Park, I spoke about this at the work session. It's really in need of refurbishing and upgrading. It's really, we're getting a lot of complaints, and so we're looking into, we do have a possibility of a donation, of a substantial donation, and we're looking into grants. I believe that's Green Acres, so we should be able to get a grant to pay for that, but that really is a need. Also, we've been getting a lot of complaints too from the parents that, and we spoke to the school district today about that, Pete did, that the older kids, when they're on break or when they're in gym class, they tend to go over there and they sit on the equipment, and that's not looked at very kindly, and there's some damage. I'm not saying that they're damaging the equipment, but it's really more for the younger kids. Centennial Park, I spoke about that. Also, we have the leaf bags are in and can be picked up at Town Hall anytime 8:30 to 4. Also, I just want to mention that the Board of Education election is Tuesday, November 5th. We don't have any municipal elections, but the Board of Education election is on the 5th. There is a question on the ballot. Basically, from what I see from their website, the board is asking the voters for an additional $475,000 for salary and benefits for faculty and staff, additional faculty and staff. Approval would result in a permanent increase to the district's tax levy. The estimated tax impact for an average house would be $71 based on the 2019 estimated tax rate. And for more information, you can go to their website. It's www.sbpsnewjersey.org. That's www.sbpsnj.org. Also, with that said, there's the Meet the Candidates Night, which is the Board of Ed candidates is October 15th, I believe 7 p.m. at the Saddlebrook High School Middle School Media Center. Lastly, I want to congratulate Police Officer Matt Bennis for all he does for the Kiwanis and all he does really for the police department. Matt's a great guy and has done a lot besides community service. He's a good officer, and he's a great guy. I want to congratulate that girls softball team, the 12 and under, that we had the party for. It's quite an accomplishment winning the county championship. I also want to recognize that it's also Hispanic Heritage Month for October. I want to thank Tommy Hayes. Tommy, you do a great job. You've been doing it for years. Always gives back to the community, always gives back for causes. And you know what? It's a great time when you go there. It's a good mix of people. They have a lot of fun, good food. It's reasonably priced, for a Friday night or a Saturday night. It's well worth it, and it goes towards a good cause. So thank you, Tommy. And I lied. Lastly, I just want to go over quickly the October calendar. We have a lot of stuff going on. First, the Township Halloween decorating contest. Registration began on October 1st. It ends on October 28th. Judging will take place on October 30th. Participants are asked to leave their lights on between 6 and 9 p.m. And registration, you have to email your name, address, and telephone number to my secretary at 201-587-2903. So some more important things that are going on in October. This Sunday, the 6th, is the Unicode Street Fair. That's from, looks like 12 to 4, or 12 to 5.
10 a.m.
What is it?
10.
Oh, I'm sorry. 10 a.m. to 5?
To 5.
Okay, 10 a.m. to 5. I don't know if this is wrong, but also there's, at the library, there's an open house at 2 p.m. and there's a bench dedication for Adeline Goldshaw at 4 p.m. On the 8th, Tuesday the 8th, there is a dine-in for veterans, which is our local VFW is running at Midland Brew House from 5 to 9. If you go there, 30% or so of the proceeds go to our VFW. On the 10th of October, from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. at the Senior Center, the 38th District is doing a mobile office there. Basically, any questions you have, not just seniors, anybody can go, and they have any problems with anything, Medicare, any local issues, anything at all, they can go there and speak to them about that. The 14th is Columbus Day. The town offices are closed. The 15th is Tuesday. The 15th is the last day for voter registration. Town hall will be open till 9. Pete will be there. Also, we're going to give out the leaf bags that night as well. The 20th, Sunday the 20th, noon to like 3 or 4 is chicken bingo at the senior center for seniors. You don't have to be a senior. Councilman Simaluka goes and plays bingo. He likes it. But he's almost a senior. The 22nd is the senior Halloween party. That's just for seniors, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the VFW. The 26th is trunk or treat at the high school. We're doing it indoors again from 12 noon to 2. That's for all Saddlebrook youth. And the 31st is Halloween. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Councilman?
It's tough following you,
Okay.
Bob, it really is. I would like to thank Matt. Matt, if you don't see Matt in uniform, he's down at the Little League field every day, every weekend, whether it's his kids or somebody else's kids. That guy's always giving back. Tommy, same with you. You're every time I turn around, Tommy Hayes is doing something for somebody, raising money, so thank you. As far as, I agree with Larry as far as the maintenance, to be able to get in touch with someone, and maybe we could have some type of like answering service on weekends where people call and then give property maintenance the message, and he calls them back, because I had an issue where I had to get in touch with somebody. I didn't want to call the cops. I waited till Monday. So I think maybe do something like that where the residents could have some peace of mind on weekends, instead of, like I said, bothering the police with probably something minor, but unfortunately they get bothered. We're looking for volunteers for the trunk or treat on the 26th, so if anybody's willing to set up in the high school that day, you can notify Councilwoman D'Arminio or my wife Shannon, and they'll be more than happy to register you, or myself. I'll be more than happy to register you. It's a great turnout with the kids, it's a good time, and look forward to seeing you. So, thank you.
Thank you, Councilman.
All right, the Flood Committee met on Monday, September 23rd at the Senior Center. In attendance were myself, Business Administrator Pete Ledico, Councilman Todd Accamundo, Tom Dickman, and Emil Sudol. Items of discussion were the new flood map that came out on August 28th. Some changes were made, and some homes were added and others were taken off. Homes that were added were notified by their mortgage company that they were in need of flood insurance. We also discussed FEMA brochures on flooding that were ordered by Pete Ledico. These flood brochures will be made available at the Township Library. We were also talking about hand delivering them to the residents as well. We also discussed providing town residents in the flood area with a waterproof bag that can hold all important documents as well as information and procedures in the event of an emergency. Finally, we discussed hiring a floodplain manager. The township can look into a shared service agreement with another municipality. By hiring a floodplain manager, we can look to improve our flood rating and lower flood insurance premiums for our residents. On another note, the Saddlebrook Education Foundation will be holding its annual 5K Run Walk on Saturday, October 5th. That's this Saturday at 9 o'clock. Registration will begin at 8 o'clock. Residents can sign up that morning at the Otto Pele entrance on Saddle River Road. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman?
Sure. I'd like to address the contract, the roads. The other night at the work session, we discussed we have problems with this contractor. We told the engineer under no circumstances he's not getting paid till the punch list is done, new core samples are submitted. So he's aware of that, and he's not here tonight, unfortunately, but he's been told. So just to let the residents know, we are not paying until they get the information we need and get the punch list done. Senior housing, the mayor addressed, and the people will start moving in, I'm sure by the middle of this month. So we're looking forward to that. The Halloween party, I just want to bring that up so the seniors that are watching this know that there is a bus service to pick them up, to take them and bring them back home. I think that's important for them to know if they don't want to drive. And just about the Halloween party also, I think this is the 9th year. It started under the previous administration, but Golden Pub, Frank's Pizza, and Moochie's donate all the food every year for the seniors. So I want to thank them, and I want to thank Tommy for what you do, and for everybody who contributes and volunteers for the town. It's really terrific. We have a terrific town. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman?
Two of the ordinances tonight that are up. One is about pools. It is about the lot coverage for,
No, it's not.
No, we
It's
pulled
not.
that off. You
it's
weren't
not
here.
there?
You were
You were
absent.
you
You're
weren't
not
here
going
to
to do
discuss it.
it? I'm going to vote against it.
You were
Whenever you do it,
You
I'm
weren't
voting
here.
against it. I don't like it. Water meter, I'm for it. It's one of the things I was pushing for. I do not think it was right for us to keep charging. It doesn't happen that often, but when it does happen, when you buy a house, the seller pays a fee, and then that person flips it, pay another fee, it's flipped again. Once we recoup our initial cost for that water meter, I don't think we should get it again. So I think it's something for the benefit of the residents. I think it's long overdue. Unicode Street Fair, I'm proud to be a member of Unicode. It's always a great time. Cross our fingers again. All these things are weather dependent, so hopefully we will have a good weather, and it seems like we are getting more and more people to come to the street fair. It is a Unicode event, however, the town is very, very involved, and we do provide services, so this way it turns out to be a great event. Senior housing, I was happy and honored to be invited to the grand opening and went through it, and it is a very, very nicely built, very well-appointed facility. And I was hoping, actually, I called John Bialy today to try and get a figure on, I know there was some talk, I mean, this is going back 100 years, we've been trying to do this. It's finally coming to fruition. But how many people are from Saddlebrook? Unfortunately, it's still with the state. Some of the people bowed out, some of the people didn't qualify. We're trying to find that. I was trying to hopefully get a percentage for you, but I don't have that. I did meet one guy who's definitely going to be in there. He's not from Saddlebrook, but it doesn't make a difference. He's a guy with, he's in a wheelchair, he has no legs. He started the North Arlington Little League, wonderful guy. I had a nice little conversation with him. So regardless of where you come from, these are people that need it, and they're going to get it, and it's going to be a great addition for Saddlebrook. Even if they're not Saddlebrook people now, but they will become Saddlebrook people. I see Emil with his thumbs up. He's a Garfield guy who's become a Saddlebrook guy. So he was a pain in Garfield, now he's a pain in Saddlebrook. No offense. Drums from Heaven. You should go to this. I've gone to a couple of these. It is wild, and you've never seen anything like that. Well, maybe if you were at Woodstock, you've seen something like that. But other than that, this is the closest thing that you're going to get. You don't have to travel up to Bethel, New York to see it. This is Woodstock.
Don't make it sound like it's a hippie fest.
No, of course. Everyone's in suit and ties, Tom. Understood. Well, all ages were up. No. It's fun. It's a hell of a lot of fun. Everyone's there is having a good time, and everyone is there with good intentions. And the result is money. And the money goes to a great cause. And Tommy does a great job. He's my neighbor, and he does a great job. There was something about businesses moving out of town. There's nothing we can do about that. We'd like to have more and more businesses, and I think that if anyone comes to Saddlebrook and drives through Saddlebrook, they will see that Saddlebrook is a great town. They go to an event like the Township Picnic, like the street fair, like the trunk or treat, and a variety of other things that we have. We have a lot to offer, and some people disagree, but with the new municipal complex and included in that is the recreation center, I think we'll even have more to offer the citizens. Okay, no problem. If somebody watches the meetings, though, they might see how bad the town is, apparently, because, all our professionals suck, we up here suck, our engineer sucks, everybody sucks, and everything we do is bad. Not true. We have a good town, we have good professionals, we have a very, very good council. So if you're out there and you have a business that you're thinking of investing in, come to Saddlebrook, contact Pete. It's a great town to do business because it has great people. And lastly, on a more sad note, a good friend of mine and a long time, I think he was a member of the Kiwanis, but a person who was involved in a lot in town, starting with Little League, 40 years ago. He was a running mate of mine on an occasion, and was very involved. He was on the zoning board, I think the planning board. Jack Altimas recently passed away a couple weeks ago, so condolences to his wife Laura and his family. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Andrew. Okay, we'll move on now for the agenda. Ordinances.
We have an ordinance, 1667 is an ordinance amending Chapter 203, Section 25 of the Township Code of the Township of Saddlebrook entitled Fee for Meters with Sale of House for a second reading.
A motion?
Motion.
A second? Roll call.
Councilman Simaluka.
Yes.
Councilwoman Dorminio.
Yes.
Councilman Garrick.
Yes.
Councilman Accomando.
Yes.
Council President Mason.
Yes.
An ordinance amending Chapter 203, Section 25 of the Township Code of the Township of Saddlebrook entitled Fee for Meters with Sale of House for public hearing.
A motion
Open to the public?
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The meeting is now open to the public regarding this ordinance. Anyone wishing to come up and speak? Haven't seen no.
Motion to close to the public?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Be resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Saddlebrook that the ordinance entitled, an ordinance amending Chapter 203, Section 25 of the Township Code of the Township of Saddlebrook entitled Fee for Meters with Sale of House, does now pass on second and final reading, and that the Township Clerk be directed to advertise said ordinance or title thereof in the press, together with the notice of the date of passage of said ordinance according to law.
A motion?
Motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Simaluka.
Yes.
Councilwoman Dorminio.
Yes.
Councilman Garrick.
Yes.
Councilman Accomando.
Yes.
And Council President Mason.
Yes.
Ordinance 1668-19 is a bond ordinance to authorize the improvement of Fairlawn Parkway Phase 2 and Herbert Terrace, the entire length, in by and for the Township of Saddlebrook and the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $850,000 to pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds, to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds for a second reading.
A motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Roll call.
Just through the chair, you said 850, it's 650?
I'm sorry, it's 6.
All right, just wanted to make that clear.
Thank you.
Testing.
Councilman Simaluka.
Yes.
Councilwoman Dorminio.
Yes.
Councilman Garrick.
Yes.
Councilman Accomando.
Yes.
Council President Mason.
Yes.
A bond ordinance to authorize the improvement of Fairlawn Parkway Phase 2 and Herbert Terrace, entire length, in by and for the Township of Saddlebrook and the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $650,000 to pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds. Public hearing.
Motion open?
Motion.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
The meeting is now open to the public regarding this ordinance.
Larry Ratajczyk, I know I asked this on Tuesday, but I just want to make sure. Fairlawn Parkway, we're doing the curbs where needed, the tree removals,
Yes.
the railroad tie removals,
Yes.
handicap ramps, everything?
Yes.
It's going to be a complete job. Okay, and we'll get it done before the winter?
Next year.
It's October now.
Next year.
Next
That's
year.
one of the problems we had last year.
This project's for
This is
next
for
year.
next year.
Oh, for next year?
Yes.
Oh, all right, so we got plenty of time.
Yep.
Okay. Anyone else on this ordinance?
Motion to close to the public?
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Be resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Saddlebrook that the ordinance entitled, A bond ordinance to authorize the improvement of Phelan Parkway Phase 2 and Herbert Terrace entire length in by and for the Township of Saddlebrook in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $650,000 to pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds. This is now passed on second and final reading, and that the Township Clerk be directed to advertise said ordinance or title thereof in the press, together with the notice of the date of passage of said ordinance according to law.
Motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second. Roll call?
Councilman Simaluka. Councilwoman Dorminio.
Yes.
Councilman Garrett.
Yes.
Councilman Accomando.
Yes.
Council President Mazur.
Yes.
First reading ordinance number 1669-19, an ordinance authorizing the purchase of certain real estate property commonly known as 55 Mayo Street, Block 801, lots 5.02 and 5.03 in the Township of Saddlebrook for first reading.
Do you have a motion?
Motion. Second.
Second. Roll call?
Councilman Simaluka.
Yes.
Councilwoman Dorminio.
Yes.
Councilman Garrett.
Yes.
Councilman Accomando.
Yes.
Council President Mazur.
Yes.
Be resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Saddlebrook that an ordinance authorizing the purchase of certain real property commonly known as 55 Mayhill Street, Block 801, lots 5.02 and 5.03 in the Township of Saddlebrook, heretofore passed on first reading, be further considered for final passage at a meeting to be held on the 7th day of November 2019 at 7:00 p.m., or soon thereafter as the matter can be reached at the Municipal Building, 93 Market Street, and that at such time and place all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance according to law, with the notice of its introduction and passage on first reading, and of a time and place when and where said ordinance will be further considered for final passage.
Motion?
Motion.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman Simaluka.
Yes.
Councilwoman Dorminio.
Yes.
Councilman Garrett.
Yes.
Councilman Accomando.
Yes.
Council President Mazur.
Yes. Since we have Mr. Wilcox here, I'd like for you to, address the public regarding the tax ramifications of the purchase. And thank you.
So, it went off. There you go.
It's on. Yes.
Okay, good. So the scenario that we've put together deals with this project, which is $28 million, and all of the other outstanding debt that the municipality has. And with this project, what we're able to do is we're able to phase in the debt service over a 3-year period, so that if everything goes the way we believe it's going to go, and this transaction will be funded early next year through the Bergen County Improvement Authority, so that the township is able to utilize the county's AAA bond rating and get a lower interest rate than if we had gone out and tried to do this transaction on our own. In the 2020 budget, the overall debt service budget would go up $293, or $44 on the average residential home assessed at $343,000. In year 2, which would be 2021, the debt service would go up about $562,000, or a tax impact of $84 to the average residential assessment of $343,000. In year 3, 2022, when principal and interest hit in total, there'll be a $75 increase to the average home. So over a 3-year period, the phase-in tax increase in total is $203 on the average residential assessment of $343. Now, in preparing for this, over the last couple of years, the town has been able to generate additional surplus that has been accumulating since 2015. In 2015, I believe the surplus of Saddlebrook was $400,000. we were not in great fiscal shape. At the end of 2018, the surplus is $3.3 million. So over the last couple of years, we've been able to deal with additional revenues, additional surplus. We've been building the surplus in preparation of being able to deal with a project of this size. The intent is to utilize some of that additional surplus over the next 3 years to help levelize and offset some of the tax impact of this project, which obviously is a very big project. So again, that's, in a nutshell, $203 to the average residential assessment phased in over a 3-year period to get a $28 million municipal/recreational complex in Saddlebrook.
Thank you, Steve.
Through the chair.
Yes.
The $28 million, people have raised their eyebrows. We're talking about bonding or preparing for $28 million. The actual price for the purchase, I believe, is $9.4 million. The construction, $14.7 million, that comes out to $24.1 million. There are soft costs involved, which include engineering, legal fees, furniture, security, things like that. We do not, what we're doing is projecting a higher number than we really expect.
It's not to exceed number.
It's a not to exceed number, but we don't anticipate it being that number. But it's much better to have that number there than going bare bones, and if you're $100,000 over, you got to come back and change everything. So that's the reason that that number is being put out there, because there are, it's clerk of the works, there's somebody who oversees things. We've got an estimate for that. We may or may not go with that kind of number. There was an estimate for furniture. Talking amongst ourselves, we don't think that the furniture number is going to be anywhere near as high as somebody estimated. So, like I said, it's a safeguard, but don't get shocked by the $28 million number.
Thank you, Council. Any other council?
Steve, in regard to the rate that we're going to get, I mean, I know it fluctuates. What's your experience with that currently?
Well, and again, it's a good question, because the debt service projections that we put together anticipate a 3.75% interest rate. Just yesterday, one of my clients sold 15, I believe it was 13 or 15-year general obligation bonds, and they're a AA3 community, not a AAA rating, and their net interest percentage was 1.97%.
We're going to the county for triple A.
Correct.
So we might not get it. We're not triple A, Saddlebrook's not.
Okay, Larry,
Is
I'm
there
going,
gonna be a
okay,
question?
I know, but yes, there is.
As we
I'm-
go along, I
okay,
can't
okay,
remember all
listen.
the questions, because he's saying a lot of things that I have
Okay.
questions for.
As soon as we
I
get
can't
through the
remember as
agenda,
I
okay,
go along.
can I just explain to you? As soon as we get through the agenda here, which isn't much, I'm going to open to the public regarding agenda items. So then you could have your questions. I'm talking, give me 10, 15 minutes.
Larry, you want a piece of paper
Just
and
try-
pen?
Yeah,
Want a piece of paper and a pen?
thank you. Just let us get through. I mean, I did it as a courtesy to,
Well, when he
just
says
now.
something that I have a question for, I'd like to ask it.
Okay, you
then,
will.
Not down the road, so he can
Well, it's,
address it.
in 10 minutes, you could ask the question. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other council, any questions for Steve? Okay, great. We'll move on with the,
Oh, no, Andrew.
I'm sorry.
Of course, yeah.
Okay.
Once we, according to your numbers, we get to a point where there's a negative?
No, well, what happens is, in 2022 is the highest annual debt service year, when the principal, full principal and interest hit the budget. And then going forward, there's some incremental decreases in debt service based on paying off some older debt, which down the road gives the municipality the ability to continue to do capital projects, to continue to resurface roads and buy equipment and deal with the infrastructure without having a tremendously negative impact on the debt service piece of the budget.
And according to, I mean, there are certain rules and regulations and percentages, like an algorithm that says how much you can bond, or are we anywhere close to our max?
No, we're nowhere close.
Through the chair, also too, we do have this building that.
Right, and
will
this
go
is
up for
a
sale.
gross number. It doesn't take into account the sale of this property. Those proceeds will be used incrementally over a period of time to offset the debt service piece of the budget. And again, it's, as Andrew said, it is a not to exceed number. It is the purchase price, the construction cost, and then other factors built in so that we've authorized enough money to not have to go back and take another bite out of the apple. It doesn't mean we're gonna spend $28 million. It just means we have the ability to go that high in order to complete the building, furnish the building, wire the building, do all the things you need to do in order to have it operational.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. No other questions? Right at this point, okay. All right, we'll move on.
All items listed with an asterisk are considered routine and non-controversial by the Township Council and will be approved by one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items unless a council member or member so requested, in which case the item or items will be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. The one motion signifies adoption of all resolutions, receive and file letters, correspondence, reports, and approval of minutes and applications. I'd like to ask the council, we're going to add the resolution that authorizes the engineer to prepare specs and go out to bid for Fill on Parkway Phase 2 with the bond ordinance passing. We can do that now?
Just,
And I'd like if you
just so we're clear, Phase 1 and Phase 2 are going to be done at the same time?
Yes.
And I'd like, if you can please pull Resolution 13, I'd like to read that.
Sure.
Thank you.
While we're on Philip Parkway, like we said, we mentioned it in the past, I'd like to, it's just too wide of a road, it's like a speedway, coming from both ways.
Yes.
If we could maybe see if we could have like a shared service with Fairlawn, put some, like a island median in between with bushes, some, to put like a one-way each way instead of two ways each way. You know what I mean?
Two-way, well, I mean, it's wide enough that people who are not familiar with it would think that it's 2 lanes in each direction. I understand what you're saying.
Well, and people who are in a rush, because it happens almost every morning, are in a rush, you're doing, even if you're doing 25, 30, people are still passing you on the right doing 45, 50. So, I mean, if you just eliminate the extra space by putting in a median, maybe with, like, I don't know, bushes, curbs, light poles, I think that would just cut down on a lot of the speeding on
Or even in the beginning, before getting to that, you may just consider what we have somewhat on Market Street, which is just through the striping. You have wider stripes to
yeah, that striping's
quell
ridiculous.
Well, I mean, we're
I
not
can
gonna
meet
have
the engineer at
we're
the
not gonna
bend.
have the turns like it is now, because there's only residential there. But in terms of putting maybe widening it and having stripes in there, so this way you really, there isn't room for 2 lanes, because you really shouldn't have room for 2 lanes in each direction, I'm saying. Definitely something that we're gonna consider, and we will. The problem with Fairlawn is, not the problem with Fairlawn, but we told Fairlawn that we were going to do
Yes,
this.
and they did it anyway.
They went ahead and did it without our knowledge. All of a sudden, they started constructing it, which it would have been nice if we could have done it in conjunction, but be that as it may, we'll join up with them maybe at some other time. We'll talk to the people over there.
Thank you.
Motion?
Motion?
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman Simalukas?
Yes.
Councilwoman Dorminio?
Yes.
Councilman Garrett?
Yes.
Councilman Accomando?
Yes.
Council President Mazer?
Yes.
Now, part of the consent agenda, we have the minutes of the September 5th, 2019 public meeting.
Do I have a motion?
Second.
Second. Roll call.
Councilman Simalukas?
Yes.
Councilwoman Dorminio?
Yes.
Councilman Garrett?
Yes.
Councilman Accomando?
Yes.
Council President Mazer?
Abstain.
We have resolution number 13, recognition of Italian Heritage Month.
Yes. I'd like to read this as also a member of Unicode, along with Councilman Samaluka and I believe Todd Accomando. And I know Karen's husband also belongs to it also, and past president. I am very proud to read this resolution. It's whereas October is Italian Heritage and Culture Month, and whereas we take the opportunity to recognize the many contributions made by Italian Americans throughout the United States, New Jersey, and in particular here in Saddlebrook. And whereas we recognize the commitment of the Saddlebrook chapter of Unicode National to our community by supporting programs including Saddlebrook Street Fair, local food banks, awarding scholarships, supporting causes such as Jimmy V, Cooley's Anemia, St. Jude, mental health programs and anti-bias programs, and installing benches in the Unicode Park. And whereas members of the Saddlebrook chapter of Unicode have gone on to serve as Unicode District Governor and Unicode National President, as well as receiving numerous honors and recognition. Now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Township Council of the Township of Saddlebrook that the Saddlebrook chapter of Unicode is commended for faithfully following the Unicode motto, service above self, and recognized for its service to our community as we celebrate Italian Heritage and Culture Month. Motion?
Motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Samaluka?
Yes.
Councilwoman Dorminio?
Yes.
Councilman Garrett?
Yes.
Councilman Accomando?
Yes.
Council President Mazur?
Yes. Okay.
We have resolution number 15, is to authorize the mayor to sign purchase and construction agreements, 55 Mayo Street.
The rest, motion?
Motion.
Second.
Second. Roll call.
Councilman Samaluka?
Yes.
Councilwoman Dorminio?
Yes.
Councilman Garrett?
Yes.
Councilman Accomando?
Yes.
Council President Mazur?
Yes. Any old business this time? New business?
New business.
Yes.
Unfortunately, we didn't get a chance to discuss Tuesday night, but DPW, the mayor and myself have met. We've talked to Enterprise about leasing 3 DPW vehicles, which Ridgewood and Glenrock have done already. There's some lease options. We'd like to get permission because trucks are there that Mr. Hicks would like to use, pickup trucks. We'd like to get approval based on review by the attorney for the best options so we can move ahead with it.
Comments?
What would we do with are they replacing old ones?
Yes.
Would we get,
2001,
would they, do we put them up to auction?
yes.
That's what we'll do.
Any other comments?
This is, get a motion to approve.
Motion?
Motion.
Second. Roll call.
Councilman Samaluka,
This is a lease to own?
lease to own.
Right. Yes.
Councilwoman Dorminio?
Yes.
Councilman Garrett?
Yes.
Councilman Accomando?
Yes.
Council President Mazur?
Yes.
Under new business, through the chair,
Yes.
Mrs. Ramsey and I, Mrs. Ramsey is our recycling coordinator, met with our recycling contractor. There are some changes that are going to be coming up in the recycling pickup that will be posted on the website, and it will be on our TV station. But the most important change, and it's because of where they bring the recycling, they will not pick them up in plastic bags. Many people are putting the recycling in the shopping bags such as Acme or ShopRite, leaving it at the curb, and up until now they've been picking them up. But now when they bring it to the recycling center, it's considered garbage and they pay a higher fee because it's in the plastic bags. As we know, we've been phasing out plastic bags. We have an ordinance that takes effect January 1st for our local businesses, and this is just another step in the direction of total elimination of plastic bags. So that will begin shortly. We ask residents to cooperate by starting now, use pails, use other types of collectibles, but do not put them in plastic bags because they will eventually be forced to leave them at the curb. Just want everyone to be aware.
Council President, I have a question. When we send out the monthly, I think it's a senior newsletter, that comes out every month, right? We have a state of the township
Yes.
thing that comes out like once a year. But the senior thing, is that come out from a separate vendor, or is that from us? I'm just wondering, for something like
Well,
this.
if I could
Yeah.
take it a step further. When we met with the recycling company, we mentioned the only realistic way to notify everybody is to put out a newsletter, and we asked them to pay for it.
Okay.
And we're getting prices now for them, so we can include the, do not throw the wipes
Perfect.
down our sewers, the recycling, anything connected. Looks like the company will pay for a mailing.
Because that's
We
one of
wanna
the
get that out.
complaints that I hear. It's like, oh, well, we didn't know about this. Where was it? Well, there was a banner, there's a flashing sign on Market Street, it's on the website, it's on the Facebook page, it's on TV. But other than that, we didn't let you know. So.
Then we emphasize the best way to get it to the residents, where every resident has it in their hand, is by mail.
Perfect. Okay, thanks.
Great. Okay, any other business? No? Motion to open to the public? Yes, what?
Just one thing, and Pete may know, I saw it in the package, the PSE&G, I think that's the brochures from the state to PSE&G, looking for the LED lights.
Yes.
PSE&G is, I know it's gonna save, they're estimating that it's gonna save us 10% over our fixed lighting costs. Is there a cost to install them, or is that PSE&G eating that, or is we get charged for the changeover in the bulbs?
Those are, there might be a cost because we did them by Blue League parking lot. They changed the lights there, but there was a savings, overall savings on that. I think in this program, it's for all streetlights. They're trying to get the state to approve, and that would be at their cost. Sure, it wouldn't be charging the town.
Okay, so
for
PSE&G, so
streetlight.
we'll.
They did
we'll-
that a number of years ago. They changed all our streetlights in town to the type we have today.
Right, and they're gonna change them again to more,
They're looking
more
to-
efficient.
Yes.
And with less pollution, I guess. So it's gonna be a savings to us without cost.
If it's approved. I believe they're looking for state approval at this point.
Okay, great, thanks.
Thank you.
Just through the chair, I know we're about to open this up, and there's some important meetings, agenda items. Maybe we consider extending
gonna
the
mention that.
minutes, because
Yeah, I
there's
was
a lot of money
I
we're
actually was
spending,
gonna
as much as
mention
we're
that,
paying taxes, they're paying taxes, so I
Yeah.
just request that we give just a
To
little more time
extend, yeah,
to people speaking at the podium.
Okay, do you want to make a time limit?
Well, yeah, I don't want to be here all night, I mean,
No,
I
I
don't think
know.
we should be here all night,
But
but a little
reasonable.
more time for them to get their points out
Okay.
and to get their answers, I think would be
Okay, just one
sufficient.
reasonable time limit, if anyone has questions. Yes, certain limit or
What do you think,
Use
council?
your discretion.
extra, okay. Okay. At this time, a motion to open?
Motion.
Second, all in
Second.
favor?
Aye.
The meeting is now open to the public. Those wishing to be heard, come up.
Tommy Hayes, Laurel Lane again. I had, like to say, I'm happy that this, I guess it's a youth center, is that part of the plan?
It's civic.
Recreation?
It's a civic.
It's civic.
Okay. But there is going to be a complex there supposedly for the youth?
Yes.
Okay. 2 points I wanted to bring up. If there is a youth center and there's police and fire, is that all? I'm not sure what's going to be going there.
The police are not going to be there, the fire department.
Fire department, all right. The point I wanted to bring up is the safety issues. If you have, kids at one part of the building and there's a fire and the firemen have to come in and park and run out with the trucks, has that been thought about?
Yes, it has,
Okay, because, safety first.
for sure.
And the other thing, the cost that you guys described, that's to buy the building, or is that also include to run it? The maintenance and the upkeep and the
Well, it's
people?
To purchase and all the construction. We'll go in there like a turnkey operation, walk in there when it's all done.
In other words, when people will have to work at the
That's-
complex?
Yeah, yes.
That, has that been talked about?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. We're combining a couple of different entities there. the
Okay.
building department.
Yeah, I haven't been up on it. I just,
Okay.
just trying to get more awareness
We'll
of
talk
it.
more, I don't want to take all your time, but
Okay, no.
we'll explain a little bit more to you about it.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, guys. Sylvie Zattarelli, 236 Lanza Ave. I just have a question with the youth center. Is it a community youth center? Is it community and youth? Is it two separate units? Is it one?
Yeah.
It's not, it's a misnomer being a youth center. Senior center is for seniors. This is a community center where, I don't think an 8-year-old is going to go to the senior center and utilize and go to chicken bingo. But there's going to be a basketball
Could be
court, there's
fun.
going to be some rooms there. It's not going to be limited to children. We're up in the air right now about this walking track potentially, which would be in the mezzanine level. But anybody could use it from, 4 to 84. So it's not a youth center, it's a recreation complex, which it was going to be open to all Saddlebrook residents.
And is the senior center moving over there too?
No,
That's
senior
staying.
center is going to be standalone by itself.
Okay, thanks.
Welcome.
Larry Tychek. I have a few questions for the, I guess you're the auditor, or what are
Yes.
you, the auditor? Okay, the mayor made a statement about the referendum. It's $471,000, and he said the average cost would be $71. You're talking about $28 million, and you're trying to tell us in 3 years it'll be $202.
I believe the mayor's, and correct me if I'm wrong, that $71 he talked about is the total school budget, not just $470,000.
Now, that was for the referendum question that's posted on there.
That
That's what he talked about, the referendum. You have to listen to what he said. He talked about the referendum.
I believe he's right.
So for
That number's not right.
for 471,000, my taxes are gonna go up $71. And you're trying to sell us a bill of goods here for 28 million
But they're,
over 3
they're not
years.
bonding the money. They're asking
Our
for that.
taxes
that
are gonna
money.
go up 202. So someone is a used car salesman here. The numbers, I'm telling you, if you can guarantee me that I'll pay $202, I'll come to Pete tomorrow and give him the 606 for the 3 years, and don't bother me. But you can't do that. You're also you're trying to borrow money on the county. I'm not saying that we're not gonna get it. I'm not saying that. But we're doing this project for Saddlebrook. Saddlebrook has to do the funding. So the next thing you're gonna come back to tell us is the county over borrowed and we can't use their AAA funding and we're gonna go. Huh?
We won't do it.
Can you stop for a second?
Go ahead.
You want to listen to the facts?
Well, I thought you gave me the facts before when you told me that. You did say that you were using the
Can
county's
you be
AAA.
civil?
Huh?
Can you be civil?
I'm civil.
This is civil?
This is civil, right. I didn't get mad yet.
Larry.
Jesus. So, the way this works, we already have the county on board. The county executive has approved the project to go to the freeholder board to get the county guarantee. It's done. We've met with the Improvement Authority, they've passed their board, they've approved it. The county guarantee is, I don't want to say guaranteed, it's in place. What has to happen now, they just introduced the ordinance tonight. Once they adopt the ordinance and the mayor signs the agreement, the process of getting a county getting the Bergen County Improvement Authority to accept the project, to have the Bergen County Improvement Authority authorize a local finance board application to go down to the state and get their approval of the county guarantee. The freeholders will introduce a county guarantee ordinance. There'll be a public hearing. They'll adopt the ordinance. The 20-day estoppel period runs. The ordinance is in place. This process takes about 3 months. It couldn't start until we had a signed agreement that there was a transaction that Saddlebrook was actually going forward with the project. So all that backroom work, all those discussions have already been had. There's been meetings with the county, meetings with the Improvement Authority. They're on board. We're getting the AAA rating. There's nothing that I can see that's going to stop this transaction from moving forward through the Improvement Authority with the county guarantee. That's number one. So we will get, when this debt issuance is sold, it'll have a AAA rating backed by a county guarantee. We'll get the lowest interest rate that anybody could possibly get the day the debt is marketed. That's a guarantee. Number two, on the tax impact, the $475 to $71 is correct. I just did the calculation. So the way this transaction is taking place, in year one, the projection is one interest payment, which is $525,000. That, again, understand, we're not just taking this transaction on its own and saying this is a tax increase. The town has other debt outstanding. We have a 2010 bond issue that the last principal payment is next year for $500,000. That comes off the rolls. We have a refunding tax appeal issue, a note issue, that the final payment is made in 2020.
Amount?
400, that was 400.
That's nothing. Say 400,000.
It's actually it's $337,000 comes off after 2020. So if you're taking that $800,000 and some debt service that comes off, we have some other debt that we have outstanding that we're dealing with. The net increase, again, I said it before, the net increase in the debt service budget in 2020 is $293,000. That's $44 on the average home. Makes sense. If 475 is 70,
Right.
293 is 44. In 2021, when we're making two interest payments on the new debt, the increase is 561, $84. The 475 is 71, 561, $84 makes sense. In year three, when now we're ramped up to full principal and interest, the debt service budget goes up $502,000, which is $75. So 44, 84, and 75 are the debt service increases over the next 3 years. The total is $203 over 3 years to the average residential assessment. It's here in black and white. We've done the calculations. We've run the numbers. Those are the facts.
Okay.
You
Well,
want to believe it? Believe it. You don't want to believe it?
I don't
Then
believe anything you say, because let me tell you the facts.
You don't believe anything I say.
Listen to, let me talk. to you.
Larry, please don't be disrespectful.
Okay, but I'm just saying, he's trying to jam it down my throat.
No, he's not
Okay.
trying to.
Excuse me. You asked, I'm giving you the facts.
Okay.
You don't want to believe it?
You
That's
say
your
they're the
problem.
facts. I say they're not the facts. I have that
Are you-
option to
are you-
disagree.
are you-
with
do
I'm
you
not a
have degrees in
certified
accounting?
accountant, but I'm not a dummy. Okay? I'm a lot smarter than you think. What we're doing here is we're taking a project for $28 million, and we're combining the old debt that we have in the bottom drawer, which we've been told we have no debt. We're in good financial shape. We're in this, we're in that. And we're combining it and putting it into this. Yes or no? Is
No.
this all Home Depot money?
No.
The 28 million?
20
No,
years.
so it's not a Home
No,
Depot.
no, the 28 million is all Home
Yes, it
So
is.
we're gonna go above and beyond it? How much debt are we gonna combine that we have that you're gonna finance through this
No.
project?
Nothing.
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 There's debt outstanding. There's been bond issues authorized.
The
and
500,000 and the 400,000?
Those are note issues for refunding of tax appeals.
That's what I've been asking for the last 6 months up here. How much money do we have in tax appeals? Nobody can give me the answer.
Those tax appeals
and-
are settled.
I know, but you come in here tonight like the shining knight in armor and you give me the amounts that's due. I've been asking the council for 6 months. Have they been in the dark or they don't know? When I say, what is the debt that we have in the tax appeals? I ask that over and over. We'll get that next month. We'll get that next month. We'll get that next month. And now, are you putting it in here now? Why did you bring it up if you're not putting in here with the 28 million?
You're totally confused. The 28 million is the amount that was just authorized by ordinance for the Home Depot property and the turnkey construction of a municipal complex. That total is not to exceed $28 million. The town has other debt that's outstanding for capital projects and for tax appeals. Year after year, that you just adopted an ordinance for $650,000 for Fairlawn Parkway. That's additional debt. We have notes outstanding for projects. We have bonds outstanding for projects. At the end of 18, it was $14 million in bonds that had been sold previously that funded capital projects, fire engines, ambulances, multiple projects over the last 10 or 15 years. But you can't do this in a vacuum. We have a budget for debt service. That budget is X number of dollars every year. Principal on bonds, principal on notes, interest on bonds, interest on notes. We have a small environmental infrastructure trust fund loan that was utilized for sewers a number of years ago. It's all part of the debt service budget. What I'm talking about in relation to the debt service budget are these increases. That's folding in the existing outstanding debt that is on the books today, this $28 million, which will be brand new debt, which will be sold and go on the books sometime early next year, and the net impact on the debt service budget are the numbers I've talked about, the 44, the 84, and the 75. Those are the increases. The debt service budget is going to go from $3.5 million to $4.6 million, about a $1.1 million increase phased in over 3 years. And that's $203 to the average homeowner over 3 years.
That's on the interest.
That's principal and interest.
And
That's
interest.
all in.
Okay.
That's all in.
As far as the building is concerned, for $9 million, okay? I mean, people know about real estate. The most important thing about real estate is the location. We're buying a building in an industrial area. It's not AAA. Market Street would be considered AAA. It's in an industrial area. We're in the bargain seat with that, or we're in the driver's seat purchasing that property. We should have never given them what their asking price was. I don't care what the appraisal came in at. It's a white elephant over there. It's in an industrial area. They, like you people said, they can't do nothing with it. We should
Larry,
be buying.
they were asking over 11 million.
And what happened? How many years did it sit for?
We didn't pay, no, they asked us for the 11 million.
Right,
We
so
didn't
we're
pay
giving
11
them
million.
9, offered them 7. I mean, look, it's in an industrial area. It's an industrial area. It's
Essentially
not funny.
located for the whole town.
This guy here's good, the jokester over here. But like I said, when he sees his numbers don't come true, we'll be back and he won't be here. Because it's gonna be way more than $202 a year. I guarantee you that.
And I guarantee-
As I sit, that chair is open.
And I guarantee you.
That it won't be?
It will be in those numbers, and I will still be here. I guarantee you.
I guarantee you that it won't be.
Larry,
But
move
I'm
on.
just saying about the price of the building. It's not a good location. It's not a good location to build the center of town. It's an industrial area.
Through the chair. we
Yes.
just
It's
had-
surrounded.
At some point, and I forget how it happened, but you were talking about the appraisal, and how did it go from a certain amount to a certain amount, and it was, if it was blighted, because there was an ordinance passed, there was an area
Right.
in need of redevelopment. It's appraised at over what we're paying. Now, I could see the complaint, if it was appraised at 10 million and we're paying 11 million, you would say, why are we paying over the appraised value?
What is he paying
We're paying
taxes on?
underneath, we are paying under the appraised value.
What is he paying taxes on?
I don't know.
Oh, you gotta have that for an answer.
About 275,000.
Assessed at what number? What's his assessment?
Don't know what.
7 million, 9 million? Well,
10
you should know that
It's
when you're
$10
buying
million.
it. Huh?
It's 10 million.
10 million.
He's assessed
You
at 10
brought,
million.
you brought that up. You're the
No,
one who told
I
us.
haven't checked on that, but I will. But I mean, you people should be able to spit that answer out by,
We did.
what is
10
assessment?
million.
10
10
million?
million.
Okay, I'll check that tomorrow and see what he's paying taxes on. And it's, to me, it's just too much money to spend. It's way too, we've never been down this road before. Never. We can't handle small projects, like I said, but I always go on and on and on and on. We can't pave roads, and we're gonna get into a project like this for $28 million. Our heads are gonna spin around. I really mean it. Like I said, I wish that the people had a say in this, and more people would come up to the podium and speak their mind, because the people out there are not happy. Okay, you might think they're happy, but they're not. And $28 million is a lot of money to spend. And it should be the people's vote. We're the ones that run the town. We're the ones that pay the bills. Okay, you manage the money. You guys spend the money and manage the money. And like I say, for $28 million, I don't think we're doing the residents of the town a service. There's a lot of older people that can't afford tax increases, and there's a lot of young people that can't afford to move here.
Larry, do you have any other questions for the order?
I don't know yet, because like I say, I still
Well,
don't agree. I
you
still
know,
don't agree with his numbers.
I understand that.
I
but-
still don't agree, because they don't make sense. They don't make sense.
Okay.
And is there gonna be a ceiling put on? I know that the price of the building can't go up, but the price of the construction, is that maxed out at 13 million or whatever? Because even that's a lot of money. You don't know what you're getting for $13 million.
We know exactly what we're getting for $13 million.
We know exactly.
Yes.
Okay, I like I say, I just hope that we don't do a veterans field job.
Okay,
And
thank you,
know
Larry.
exactly what we got.
Anyone else wishing to be heard? No? Yes, no? Oh. It's-
Good evening, everyone. Emil Sudol, Ben Terrace, Southwood. I just want to say, I really wish you people could live within your means. Going to this project here and putting this kind of burden on the taxpayers. I'm here just as a taxpayer, and what Larry brought up as far as putting that additional burden on the residents, the seniors and stuff like that in this town for a long time, and it's a lot of money. I really wish, like I said, you could live within your means, make repairs, do what you have to do right here. Go up 2, 3 levels on this building here. Give the fire department a new firehouse, the ambulance corps a new ambulance corps building. You want a rec center for the kids? A mile down the road, Garfield has a boys club. They'd be more than welcome, the residents of Saddlebrook there. I just feel it's too much, and we don't really need to be doing this. I mean, one of the biggest complaints that I heard was residents are coming here and looking for the building department, and people are concerned about, well, you have to give them directions. You know, every time I pass this building here, I look at that sign out in the front there, and as you're driving by, I don't know what it's like a 10-second span before you're driving by the building. I mean, what do you see up there? Councilman, whatever. Your names, that's all I see up there. You want to repair the problem of people coming here? Just direct them, hey, building department is located on Saddle River Road. Put that on your damn sign out there. I mean, there's things that you could do and not go ahead and overburden everyone here with this whole project. I really wish that you would, and I don't think anybody ever looked into doing something right here on this piece of property. You strictly looked at Home Depot, and everybody's minds are set with that, and that's wrong. Get a different opinion. Look at things a different way. You know, I mean, see what you can do right here in this building. Even if you're going to add on to it, do it. I mean, just get an engineer, an architect involved. Get a price. See what it costs. I'm sure it'll be a lot cheaper than Home Depot, not to mention the tax revenue that we're going to be losing there is tremendous. I think Peter said it's $275,000 on their taxes. That's every single year. That's $275,000 less than that our township gets. I mean, that kind of stuff hurts. I mean, we're losing too many ratables here. And like I said, this is just my feeling as a taxpayer. That's all I got to say. Thank you.
Thank you,
Through the chair?
Yes.
Can I respond? I know Mr. Sudol and I will agree to disagree, but we've been through this route. You and I have talked about it at other meetings. We did have architects come in. We did have somebody try to come up with plans. We're limited for parking. It's not just different locations, but we're at different locations because we can't fit them here. When this building was built, prior to that, in the 1970s, there was a referendum to add a nice 3-story building. And The people didn't go for that. It was a lot cheaper. It was a lot cheaper. Let me finish. It was a lot cheaper then, but we ended up with what we have, an inadequate building, and that's what happens. The council at the time voted to have a building that included the ambulance corps because they owned the property, and the municipal buildings, offices are up here. We cannot add on. We cannot add on parking over here, and that's the biggest problem. If you're here for court, right by here any court night, they're parked on the side streets, they're parked across the street. They come in the lot, they can't get out of the lot because of the parking situation. This room is overcrowded. They're on the hallway, they're down the street, on the sidewalk. That's our problem. Our problem is that we didn't have the foresight to do what we should have done 50 years ago, and did an adequate municipal building and anything else that we needed to do at that time. The reason we're here is because we got thrown out of the last location that was a municipal building. The church bought the property. We had a municipal building there. We didn't buy it because there was personality conflicts between council members and the owner at the time. And we ended up being forced to build here in a timely manner because we were being evicted from the other place. I know because I sat on the council at the time. I think, and the auditor could correct me if I'm wrong, we talk about the seniors, but the seniors are on the Freeze Act, and one of the seniors pointed it out, because he's in favor of the new construction. They will basically get that money back from the state, so it's almost like the state subsidizing some of the costs. Because if they're on the Freeze Act, when your taxes go up, whatever the reason for the taxes going up, you're frozen. You're frozen at the level that you were at when you filed for the Freeze Act. We all live in town. We're all taxpayers. We've all reviewed options. There are no options for this property. There are no viable options for this property at all. Parking with the police department, with us, some days we can't, the employees can't even park. Add more people here, there definitely would be a parking situation here. It's a definite problem. As a taxpayer, not as the township clerk or administrator, I think exploring this avenue, looking into it, the way the numbers have fallen with the debt service falling next year, the negotiations that have taken place over quite a bit of time with our attorneys and our professionals, we came up with the best possible solution that adds a civic center that we've talked about for many, many years, a firehouse that's from the 1940s with bathrooms that really are antiquated, an ambulance corps building, and municipal. Dumont today was in today's record. $20 million for a 3-story building, municipal and police. I don't know the size of the property, I'm not sure the size of the building. They bought property, they're putting up a building, they had groundbreaking, and that's great for Dumont. It's a $20 million project. We're getting 5 acres, close to 5 acres with 300 parking spaces and the room for growth.
And the building
We already
department.
spent $5 million over here.
I'm talking.
Typically, don't forget.
So hopefully this project will
Did you
move.
mention the building department?
I did. And I think it's a good project. That's just strictly my personal opinion.
Thank you, Pete.
Just through the chair,
Yes.
if I could, Emil, you're a Garfield guy, correct?
No,
No, I'm saying you're a Saddlebrook resident, I know you're a Saddlebrook resident, but you're a Garfield guy. What brought you to Saddlebrook? All right, what brought you to Saddlebrook? Low taxes, right? All right, well,
The opportunity to buy a house here, and I bought a house here.
right, I'm a Lodi guy, Andrew's a Lodi guy. I moved here because, one, looking for a house, we drove down Market Street and there was a thermometer outside saying that they were saving money for a rec center. My wife was pregnant. One of the biggest things I was looking at was something for my kid to do, because I grew up in Lodi. They have a boys club, they have rec and all that. So we moved to Saddlebrook. Here we are 18 years later, and I can guarantee you through the auditor, at $28 million to pay off, we're still cheaper than Lodi, Garfield, Elmwood Park, and probably, well, Roche Park doesn't have it. So 18 years later, I guarantee you we're cheaper in taxes than they are, and we're gonna have a state-of-the-art facility for everybody in town. Do their homework. Low-rise taxes, through the roof. What do they have?
Because they bonded the hell out of everything. Doesn't matter, that's why.
They did. We're not gonna be right there.
We'll be right up there. Whatever.
But you know what, then we'll be compatible to every other township around us instead of being in the past.
We shouldn't be.
This has been going on for 40 years. It's finally getting done, and people that are stale and stagnant complain about it. The parents that moved here, that want better for their kids are happy. I'm happy. I can't wait for this to go through. I pay the taxes,
Exactly.
and I'm happy with it.
Exactly, well, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not.
All right, wait a minute. Guys, it's not a debate anymore.
Through the chair.
Okay, first I want to, anyone else regarding this? Yes.
What happens if the Home Depot wasn't available? Where would we be?
I don't know. We never had that option.
It's a question, who knows, if it wasn't.
Bennigan's is a nice site.
Bennigan's, we'd probably, keep our eyes open for something, but, anyway. Anyone else, any questions on this before I close? No? Motion to close.
Motion to close.
Motion to close. Second. Okay, all right, we're not talking about Bennigan's right now. Okay. All right, it's closed to the public.
It's available now.
It's 10,000 square feet.
It's
10,000 square feet
First of all,
versus 44,000, and I'm not the sheriff.
No comparison.
It's the Home Depot's 4 times as big. Bennigan's could not fit any rec center. You'd shoot a basketball, and if you shoot it 3 feet in the air, you'd hit the ceiling. So it's not viable. So we're talking about, now you gotta blow up the building, you gotta blow it up and put on a second floor. What was told to us at a meeting by a certain resident was, instead of spending this money on this project, now, keep talking about referendum. If you have a referendum, now, people couldn't care less if the people working here were sitting on each other's laps with mimeographs, okay? You got to work a government like a government. You can't have everybody on top of each other. This is an antiquated building for the municipal complex. It's not sufficient for the court. It is antiquated for the ambulance corps. You could shake your head all you want, but you ask the people in the ambulance, ask the people who work here, is this a quality building? The answer is absolutely no. You ask the people in the ambulance corps, is that what they want? The answer is no. You ask the people, stop talking. You ask the people in the fire department, is that what they want? No, because that's antiquated. Like Pete said, it's 40 years old. Nothing is there. There's mold all over the place. They keep asking to make additions to that. Well, you know what you're going to get? You're going to get a state-of-the-art ambulance corps. You're going to get a state-of-the-art fire department. You're going to get a state-of-the-art municipal complex, municipal court, and in addition, you're going to get a recreation center. What was told was, you know what, you shouldn't spend all this money and do that. What you should do instead is give the ambulance corps this building. Well, what are they going to do with 10 offices up here? There's nothing. The main thing they need is another bay, which is not going to be here, okay? The second thing was, and then what you're going to do is you're going to buy Bennigan's, and you're going to make Bennigan's your municipal complex. Okay, well, we have no numbers on that, but now that Bennigan's, you're going to buy another building and retrofit that. Then, third, you build a standalone fire department with no numbers on that, but now you're building from scratch a fire department. And then fourth, the recreation center, because you need that, what you're going to do is you're going to take the land that we have dedicated right now for affordable housing, and you're going to build a standalone rec center. And somehow, all of that is going to cost less than buying an existing building and retrofitting it. And that building having how many spaces? The biggest thing when you have a business or a governmental office, the biggest issue is parking. And the main thing there, the great thing about that, is you have almost unlimited parking. You have parking in the front, you have parking in the back. We're going to work it out. It's going to be a great complex. You talked about the seniors, but your senior argument goes nowhere because they're on the Freeze Act. So forget about that issue. That's a non-issue. Are taxes going to go up? Yes, they're going to go up, but they're going to go up like they went up in Garfield when they built a police station. They're going to go up in Fairlawn like they did in Fairlawn when they built their rec center. In Lodi when they built their complex. In Dumont, they're not getting it for free like they get like, they're gonna go up, because you need to do things. Just like we buy and bond for a new ambulance and a new fire truck. We have to make some expenses. We have to do it. We're not just throwing away money. This is going to be a complex which you and your grandkids are going to be, your kids and your grandkids are going to be proud of and are going to be here in 30 or 40 years. If you don't have grandkids, adopt some. What can I tell you? You know, you're throwing your hands up like it's a joke. Is it cost money? Yes. But the alternatives, that no one's got an alternative here. Where's the rec center that Todd came to town for? Where is that? It's no place. And you've been complaining about it, and I know some people have been complaining about it. We have nothing. We have nothing in Saddlebrook. And now the idea is, well, go to Garfield and use their boys club, or go to Lodi and use their boys club. We're gonna have our own. Isn't that been for people out there that have been listening to these meetings for years? We have nothing of our own. Well, we're gonna get something of our own, and we're gonna be damn proud of it. And I am.
Motion to close to.
Done deal a long time ago.
Motion to close the meeting to
Just
the
through the
public.
chair, I'm not gonna
Can I,
speak.
can I close to the
Yeah,
public?
go
first?
ahead,
Just
go
the
ahead,
public. Motion to close to the public. Second, all in favor. Again, Mayor, sorry.
Look, you're entitled to your opinions, and you know what, I respect your opinions. Obviously, you feel very fervently, or strongly, whatever word you want to use, that it's a bad idea, okay? We happen to think that it's a good idea. And, you know, I'm around town, I'm not gonna lie, I run into people that are in disagreement with it. But I also run into a lot of people, and actually more, and, if I had to estimate it, okay, more people are in favor of it. You know what, look, I understand, but at the same time, I disagree with you. I respect your opinions, but I disagree, and the council, we disagree with you. You know what, no matter what we say up here, we can talk all night. The people that are against it in this room, okay, Emil, I'm not gonna convince you. We've had this conversation, okay? We've had it. We've talked on the phone for an hour about it one night. I'm not gonna convince you. I don't dislike you for it, and I hope you don't dislike me. But we're public, we're elected officials, okay? We're trying to do the right thing. We're trying to do what's right by Saddlebrook. And we all feel, and it's been a long time, you're right, it's been, this is not like something that we just, decided on yesterday. We've done all our homework. We have our professional. We think it's a great deal. You don't. I'm sorry you don't. I wish I could convince you, but you know what? I know I'm not gonna convince you. So it's not a matter of, just respect the fact that, you elected us, and we're making a decision. We're making a decision we feel is in the best interest. And that's it. That's it. So I'm sorry that, we let you down, but, I feel very good about our decision. And I think the town is gonna be better for it.
Thank you, Mayor. Any other comments before we close? Nope. Motion to close?
Motion to close.
Second, all in favor? Good night, everyone. Hope to see you at the street fair Sunday.